Hello everyone and welcome back to the Teamfight Tactics Fates Showcase. Wait a second guys, that was the first time I've ever seen that little clip and I'm freaking in love. He got his spatula at the end!
What's he gonna use it for though?
I don't know, there's just so many
Besides,
items.
like, flipping pancakes, I guess, but, you know,
Besides
the obvious.
I
would use that spatula to smack Chunk's belly. I think that is the best use for it.
Not what I was expecting, but you know, respect it.
Trying to figure that one
out. The judgmental look, but I mean, I guess
it's more the quizzical look.
Can just use his own hands and tail to smack things around. Oh, wait a second, I forgot. We have games of TFT to be playing. We can't just talk about Pangus the entire time. Two games out of the way. We have one player, JUANZI, who has won the first two. We could go ahead and take a look at the standings on the screen right now as we get into that third and final game. There's only one game left for you guys to rack up points. Looking at it, and honestly, SLOOPER is only 5 points behind JUANZI. So if SLOOPER pulls off, you know, a pretty good showing, and JUANZI happens to tank it a little bit, there's a pretty good chance for a comeback. What do you think, Doa?
I think it's definitely possible. I mean, JUANZI is looking pretty strong, obviously, today, but SLOOPER's definitely got a chance. I would say even players like Double 61, our champion of set 3, has a chance to come back and win it, depending on how a couple things shake out. But yeah. Gotta happen to somebody, but he needs a bit more practice on the PB, it seems like.
Yeah, he may be able to move up to that. I'm looking at my note right now. He may be able to move up to that secondary prizing, but definitely he's not going to be anywhere close to the top with the first two performances. But, I mean, let's go ahead and talk about the first two games that we've seen so far because, wow, we saw, what was it, like the 9 Elderwood, we saw the 6 Assassin comps. Becca, for you, what was your favorite part of the first two games?
The number of Vygar players. It seems like everyone seems to be favoring that. I mean, it is a little bit of a comfort pick too because you know how he works based on other sets. So the prevalence of Vygar, my favorite part so far.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of really new and unique champions coming out with this set. One of them being Lee Sin. Do, what have you thought about him?
Oh, I think Lee Sin's awesome. We've seen him a little bit, but I just love watching it. It's just funny to see people get punched off the side of the map. And you know, as long as you build some tanky items on him, get him to 2-star ideally, he will be doing that quite a bit in a lot of your rounds. And that's how I would probably try to build him right now, because he doesn't really need the damage because he just essentially one-shots people. So just make sure he lives long enough to do it.
Now, Do, excuse me one moment, because I took a few notes from the chat in that last game. I believe everyone voice-acted a champion, I think except for you and maybe Crowan so far. So the chat spoke, specifically Mort in the chat has asked that you do a voice line of Lee Sin. So please, here you go.
Oh, wait, is this a voice line for Lee Sin? If I'm like, your skills are inferior. Is that Lee Sin? I can't remember. I think it might be.
Wait, that was so good.
Did you just play a clip of Lee Sin?
No, that was just me. Sometimes I like to talk like the champions. No, wait, that's more like Yasuo. I think more like that.
Do, just close your eyes for a second.
Unsheath the blade again.
Do, go ahead, close your eyes really fast just for...
Okay.
Oh my god, is that Lee Sin?
Oh, it is. You're right. I just have to go like this. I see
all right,
what you did
well,
there.
Before we get into any other impressions, I do want to remind everyone watching that you guys can explore the Fates in Teamfight Tactics next week as it launches with the patch 10.19. You guys can show your support and share some of your favorite moments on social media using that hashtag TFTFates, especially that voice line that Doa just expertly delivered for us here. But guys, I don't know, man. But hey, listen, we are getting into that third and final game of the day. It all comes down to this. Casters, take it away.
All right, well, we still need to go in from Crone at some point, but I won't hold you to it. Don't.
You know,
don't
no,
worry.
I'm ready actually. I'll do it.
All right.
One of my
Go for
favorite
it.
voice actors is Liam O'Brien, who voice acts Yasuo, and he has a line. What is it? Death is like the wind, always by my side.
Oh no.
That was so smooth.
It was really smooth, but it definitely wasn't Yasuo.
Is it? Wait, that's not Yasuo.
Everyone's a critic.
No, I mean the voice. I mean.
Oh yeah, sure. But, I mean, I'm not a professional voice actor, but it's the line that I went with. Anyways, getting into game here. Yeah. See Shoemaker with a couple of Wukongs there. Some Vanguards, a decent synergy.
I just want them to put my skin ideas in the game eventually. We got to get Walker, Texas, Rengar at some point in League of Legends.
Oh, he
My
has
campaign
a
will
chosen
never end.
mage. Oh man, I think I would take that. The TF.
You know, I think it's good if you find like an early Nami to go along with it. But TF is just one of those very replaceable units early on if you're not really going for cultists. So I feel like a lot of people pass over that. But Mage is a really strong early trait. If you had another Nami, definitely I would think about picking that up.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is on a TF, and he probably isn't in the final comp.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on how the game goes, but then again, like I said, there's still a lot more testing that needs to be done. Obviously, the PBE has been out for like less than a week, right? And we know like these players have barely played it, so it's all about experimenting and seeing what works today. Double Vanguard for Shoemaker here. Yeah, okay. I do like the GA in the set. There's the Thresh.
Yeah, Thresh as well, though. A couple of options here for Shoemaker. Could go that Moonlight route, could go the Vanguard route. We'll see. Moving on over to Lev D. TROTSKIJ, though, has a chosen Fiora, with the Enlightened being the chosen there. So, a lot of synergies, actually. Like 4 synergies with, between 4 units on round 2-1. That's kind of crazy.
This is what you can do with the whole chosen thing, right? Just gets that free Enlightened synergy online. Duelist is nice. Brawler is really nice to have. Let's see how this goes, though.
Oh yeah, definitely in the way of Lev D here. I mean, 4 units, one of them being chosen versus the 3 of JUANZI there. JUANZI with a pair of Zeds. We did see Shade 4 last game. Maybe JUANZI gonna try to go some Shades from there, or Ninjas, or maybe just have them in because they're strong units at the moment.
Oh yeah, did Ninja end up doing decently last lobby? I can't remember.
Well, it was 4 ninjas along with those assassins. So yeah, they definitely did a good job last time.
Okay, yes.
I thought there was ninjas with the shades and not the assassins.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
My memory's not as good as Crone's.
Yeah, they still did pretty well though. I was specifically just excited for seeing if shades worked, because that's the first time I'd seen someone get to that 4 shade synergy. But I think they still did pretty well. I believe it was top 4, but I don't have good enough memory for that one.
Yeah.
This Fiora is probably, unless he really is planning on going duelist, this is one you're probably going to want to swap out at some point.
Yeah.
Once you get a couple more 2-stars, you kind of have to, like, sometimes you stabilize around your early chosen, and then once you do and you have a couple more 2-stars, you can sell it safely, you know?
Yeah,
and I think that's one you probably want to swap out.
Yeah, especially because it's Enlightened synergy. Like, while Enlightened is good, you're not going to have Fiora being the primary, like, Enlightened carry by any means. That's going to be with the role of Morgana later on. So I think it's very much so, especially with the choice to level up to level 4 on 2-1. It's just going to try to win streak in the early game and probably sell it, I would imagine, around Krugs, maybe a bit later if he just happens to roll some other really strong stuff. But we'll definitely sell it later on.
Ooh,
So,
Garen 2.
Is it you can find a chosen legendary unit, right? So it's just a fully upgraded legendary unit with double synergy?
I think only at level 9 you can do it though. They used to be 8, and then they changed it because it was like too strong.
You're seeing so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does seem hard to get to that point, because then you have to not be playing a chosen to even find a good one.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. So that does make it hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have to just be playing like a strong board in terms of not just like a solid, like 6 Elderwood or something like that, but just like a strong board of a lot of little synergies. And then, you get to a point where maybe you're in like a 1v1 or like 1v2 situation and your comp isn't really working out right now. So you kind of have to risk finding something better, go to 9, sell your chosen, and, pray for something else that works out. I'd be hesitant to say that you would just do it just because, especially if you're already like winning or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we probably won't see a whole lot of them in competitive play, at least in the future. But it is cool when it happens. It is very strong. It looks like we've got the Fortune synergy going for ALPHAGO here, which is a synergy that I really think is interesting, because if you win a round, you get a prize. If you don't win a round, you don't get a prize. But the longer you go without getting one, aka without winning a round, the bigger the reward is at the end. So it's a synergy that actually synergizes with loss streaking, which I feel like is really interesting, because I don't think we've seen synergies that work with styles of play over just deal with the champions on the board. So I think that's kind of a really cool way to approach things. It's a neat synergy.
So I just saw a question in chat where they asked if there could be a chosen ninja.
I haven't seen one, but I would assume you could. I don't know if I can get any confirmation from that from anyone else, but I'm not sure.
I don't know how that works. Because there's the whole
You can't play him. He's just a weaker ninja when you're playing him by himself.
Yeah. Apparently actually Giovanni just let us know that Ninja is excluded, apparently. At least on launch. So it might still be in the PvE. I haven't seen it yet, but apparently on launch it won't be there. So that makes sense, because that does get a little bit weird with Ninja, because it says you have to have either exactly 1 or exactly 4. So it's like, oh, my ninja is 2 ninjas, even though he's just 1 ninja. But it looks like we won't have to worry about that, so that's good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That'd be a little awkward, I suppose. Or a little strong if you get like an exiled chosen Yasuo early and he gets the light skill for free. So I can see why that's not going to be the case.
According to Mort, in case you didn't know, Ninja and Exile cannot be chosen. Yeah. Makes sense.
That makes sense.
It's almost as if they've been testing these things longer than we have.
Crazy.
Who knew? Well, ALPHAGO doing okay with this this fortune-based composition. A little bit of divine, a little bit of enlightened in there. This round, as soon as I say it, though, caster curse is real. Can you get one more?
Luck's
No.
not strong enough.
Yep.
There's already a Vygar with a gunblade there, so that's gonna be stacking up since stage 2. KC Double gonna go the route of Elderwood and mages, it seems, again.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of where he placed the Lux, but maybe it's because maybe there were some assassins or shades or something. But
do you like
I feel
corner
she
position better?
Yeah, I feel like she tends to do better when she's off to the side,
Totally
or at
agree.
least like getting a better angle than the middle.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Becca. Like you have to think of it kind of like the Lux from earlier in set 3, where the better angle she can get crossing the board, the more people she's gonna hit. So yeah, I think it's better to corner the Lux if you can.
Yeah,
For sure.
Even sometimes people were choosing to put Lux like towards the top corner as well, even to hit a lot of the frontline units, depending on certain things. But 4 sharpshooters from BOBAE here. Will we see a 6 sharpshooter game? I don't think we have yet.
I hope so. I feel like right now in the PBE, if I'm just like, I want to get top 4 and maybe have a chance of winning this game, I will just play sharpshooters, because for some reason I feel really comfortable with this comp, but I also think it's really strong, specifically if you go 2 Vanguard, 4 sharpshooter, and then other synergies along with that. If you can get the 6 sharpshooter, great, that's awesome, but you don't necessarily need to make this comp good. And you have like little side synergies like Dusk worked in there as well via like the Thresh and the Vayne later on. And Jin is just imagine Jin, but every time he shoots, he also hits other people as well. That's what Jin does now. So he's like a better version of the Jin we had in set 3, which was already great. So yeah, I love sharpshooters, and I think it's going to be a pretty strong comp. It plays a lot like Astro Snipers or Vanguard Snipers if you played that in the past.
Yeah, I have a question, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe one of you know. Does Runans work with Sharpshooter? Like, will the Runans shot proc Sharpshooter?
Oh.
No, because those technically aren't auto attacks, so those wouldn't bounce. Yeah. Those are just
cool.
extra attacks, basically.
Yeah, that could get pretty crazy. I remember, like, you know, the Sivir and all those bounces before, and so, yeah, that would get a little bit too wild, so makes sense.
I think Runin's is still good to build on, like, a Jhin or something like that, because he does still hit hard with that fourth shot, so it's not a bad thing to build on him, but yeah, you don't get any extra benefit with Sharpshooter from it.
I wonder if Bobae's gonna reroll for sharpshooters, because he is holding 6 Nidalees, and then there's the one extra Teemo on his bench.
Yeah, could.
You
Maybe
could.
that's
Remember
viable.
the old Nidalee 3 carry comps?
Hey, she does this very similar thing now, and then now that spear does ricochet too, because it's not just the auto attacks; it's the abilities as well. So with Teemo, you're blinding a lot of people. With Nidalee, you're hitting a lot of people with the spear and doing a lot of damage if they're far away. Nidalee is definitely a core part of the early game with this build. Later on, she gets overshadowed by units like Jhin and Jinx, who have like a stun and things like that, and Jhin just hits hard. But early on, Nidalee is great.
Something that I was talking about earlier when we were, you know, showcasing all of those new origins and classes actually was Sharpshooter, and I talked a little about Jinx. You're going to be able to, you know, splash the Jinx rocket, which stuns and deals AoE damage. So if you're able to get to like that 6 Sharpshooter synergy, I think it's 3 ricochets that you'll have, so like 4 units getting stunned with every Jinx rocket. Maybe like putting like, I don't know, a Shojin or something on her. I did try a little bit, so perhaps, you know, it'll be strong if you have her as a secondary carry. Not sure she can be the primary though.
Yeah, I've never built her as the primary carry. She doesn't even really need items to do well, because you get those ricochet stuns like you're talking about. When I've won games with this, and I've won multiple games with sharpshooters at this point, it's always been I have Vayne hold Jhin items, and I have Nidalee hold Teemo items, unless I get a Teemo early, and then I just put the items on him directly. So I give Teemo all the AP items, I give Vayne and then Jhin all the AD items, and then just kind of go from there. It's like Shojin's is really good on Teemo, because the more people you're blinding, the less damage your team is taking. So that's the basic way I've been approaching it. That's worked so far.
True. Yeah, man, that's an early Irelia chosen right
Really
there.
early.
So Irelia too, utilizing that GA and the Shojins. I think Irelia ability is actually really strong. It's an AoE disarm that has a pretty sizable radius there. So really good unit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder which part got chosen for the Aurelia.
Yeah,
If it's Divine, I'm excited.
Yep, we'd have to actually see his board to find out, but sometimes you kind of figure it out from process of elimination. But I'm curious too.
True.
You know, the funny thing is, we were told it's enlightened. That's interesting. Okay, so just
cool.
faster casting then. That's cool. If I were Bobae right now, I would actually swap out this Hecarim for the Thresh, because I believe if we get a chance to look at his board anymore, he's missing out on possibly a Dusk buff. Yeah, so if he swapped out the Hecarim for the Thresh, it would be a slightly weaker tank, but Guarantoo is strong enough on his own at this point in the game that it'd be better to have that Dusk buff and just give the 20% spell damage bonus to his whole team. And then the shields from Thresh, are fine at level 1.
Yeah, I'm trying to think through. I guess 20% spell power is pretty good. Like, Nidalee utilizes it well, Teemo utilizes it well, even Garen with the spin. Huge. So, yeah, it might be right there. It's going to end up winning the round, it seems, anyway, versus ALPHAGO. But interesting to see the thought process of these competitors here, of which synergies they prioritize, or just versus having a, what they think is a quote-unquote stronger board.
Yeah, 1-star versus 2-star in this case. But I would take the 1-star with better synergies over the 2-star, because, like I mentioned, I think Guarantoo is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, early game unit in the set right now. And so he can do fine as long as he's got the Vanguard buff, and the other Vanguard can be 1-star. It's no big deal.
Yeah, definitely. A bit of a, perhaps, I don't want to say counterpoint, but I do think Hecarim can be strong if he has a couple of tanky items and a Gunblade, actually, because I've seen Hecarims kind of just like live forever. I suppose that was with Gargoyle's Stoneplate, with the extra resistances, it has been nerfed there, but if you do have a couple of those, let's just say theoretically on Hecarim and a Gunblade, I think he can kind of like live forever almost. Maybe one of them in like a D-Claw or something, maybe a Bramble, depending on what the lobby's looking like. But I am curious how Hecarim can function. Ooh, a Jhin.
That's a good question. I should test Hecarim more. Yeah, so he just got that Jin. That's a pretty upgrade for him. But we're going to check out how Levd is doing. Hey, we've seen a similar build to this, although rather than being Elderwood Mage, this is actually Brawler. So 6 Brawler already to really protect that Veigar. And, you know, you really only need 3 Mage online just so he gets a double cast. And it's going to be strong. Not as strong, but still pretty strong.
Yeah, has the Lulu on the bench. No 3 mages in yet, but man, look at how much HP 6 brawlers is. At this point in the game, it's going to take so long for units to break through, and while that's happening, Veigar is just going to be casting the whole time. I say, not very often though, as only a singular tier is on Lev D's Veigar, but the Veigar of KC Double actually already having 2 completed items, Shojin's and Gunblade, doing a lot here.
Yeah,
The
I have to imagine that
from
Nunu's just
Ari
going to eat
is
him,
so
though.
satisfying.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. HP was too good there, though.
I haven't seen anyone build a Gargoyle Stone Plate yet, right? I wanted
That's
to see
surprising to me.
I wanted to see how it performs after the nerf.
I saw one
it's
get
still really
grabbed from the
good.
I saw one get grabbed from the carousel at stage 5, I believe, in one of our previous games. But yeah, no one going out of their way to build it. Maybe people was thinking that 12 MR and armor isn't enough at this point, but I think it's still pretty good as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I still like it. I don't know. It's definitely not as strong as it was, and maybe you'd always want to build something like a Sunfire Cape first, but
yeah,
it still feels like it's a slammable item early.
We
Cool.
saw
How
a
do you
couple
guys feel
Sunfire
about
Capes there
Sunfire?
actually, too. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Go
great.
ahead.
You guys like it a lot?
Sunfire Cape? Yeah. It's really good. Just
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. What do you like about a Crowan?
I think it's super good in the early game because it was buffed to proccing every 1 second. With how slow fights generally go in the early game, you're going to be getting so much value in Sunfire spreading to multiple units and just dealing that much damage. Like, we even see there, I think that... Oh no, was that true damage that consumed for Nunu? Yeah, it was. But if we see a fight in the future with a Sunfire Cape, we'll really see how much damage that it does end up doing.
And we should talk about the Nunu actually wrecking people. Wow, it's a Vayne 3 for Slooper. That's cool. I'll have to check that out later. But back with Nunu. So Nunu's got a neat mechanic where if his target has less health than him when he bites them, it does an additional 50% damage and it does true damage. So that's why you see him just literally eating people if he has more HP. Which, with 6 brawlers, you're pretty much always going to have more HP than whoever he's fighting. So that's a neat thing to consider, is that Nunu's going to be extra scary with this comp.
Oh, maybe a spat? Yeah.
I think we also saw someone with a Lysandra 3, and if you have Moonlight with a 3-star with a bunch of 3-star units, you can get a 4-star unit, right?
Yeah, you can.
That's how that works.
I hope someone is re-rolling Moonlight. I want to see it.
Yeah, we did have one person do that. I believe we briefly spotted it on someone scouting, but there was a Lysandra 3 and the Diana 3, which is the Aphelios that was still tier 2'd. So that Aphelios gets tier 3'd later, it's going to be a tier 4 Aphelios.
Yeah. I like that you can direct who becomes the higher star level and ties by items. And Aphelios seems like the best target for that right now, because you can just sit way in the back and create like infinite turrets. So it's I hope we get to see it. But this Vayne 3 though. Vayne is pretty oftentimes good. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was staring at Slooper as he was making the item choices on the Garen. He could have made a Gargoyle Stone Plate, but chose to make the GA instead. It's because we were just talking about that. It was on my mind. But Vayne also super good unit right now, especially getting at tier 3 so early, I think.
Garen 3 as well. But I think a lot of people would say Vayne is probably the weakest sharpshooter out of all of them at the moment. So I'm really interested to see how well this Vayne 3 performs, or if it's going to fall off later. I feel like you would rather have a Jin 2 than a Vayne 3 when it comes down to it. But we'll see. I honestly don't know. So I'm really interested to see if he's able to come back and start win streaking with this.
Yeah, with the Chosen mechanic, it does feel like there are a lot more tier 3 units now, or 3-star units now, because you can just get a full Vayne 2 early on.
Yeah.
Only need
it's kind
6
of the
more.
old star cluster mechanic.
Yeah.
It is a Dusk Vayne as well, so I can't ignore that one. I don't think Dusk really synergizes that well with Vayne, herself, so we're probably not going to see a dusk-focused comp, but it's a cool thing to splash in there. Maybe fitting one more in somehow to get that 4-piece synergy. Her silver bolts will deal a lot more damage with that 4 dusk buff.
Yeah, maybe that's what you go for here with this, is you try to turn this into a 4 dusk comp, and then maybe get some Riven with some items. So Riven and Vayne are your main carries, and you're not as worried about Sharpshooter. That's
that would probably be good.
That sounds good. Yeah, like at level 8, put in another dusk. I like that.
I'm a fan.
All right.
Oh yeah, here's this Moonlight comp with 5 hunters.
Yes.
That's the most hunters you can get.
Wow.
Hunters! I've been waiting for a hunter comp. I'm excited to watch JUANZI play this.
Huh.
Can JUANZI
There's no
go
front
first?
He
could.
I wonder. He's finding some really unique stuff to do that with. Like 5 hunters. I've never seen anyone do that, but that's a huge amount of damage.
Yeah.
Wait, is it just hunters? No moonlight? Oh no, there is moonlight.
There's Moonlight, yeah. So
Okay.
if you'll just be a tier 3 now. Yeah. Needs to find a lot more of them though to get that tier 4. It still is like 5 away from that point.
Yeah, but it is a tier 3 Diana, tier 3 Lissandra with 5 hunters.
Oh, this looks so strong actually.
This is insane. The hunters all focus the same unit, right? Because they start focusing the lowest health unit.
They do like an extra attack to the lowest health unit every few seconds, and then the strength of that attack gets stronger depending on how many hunters you have in.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Very interesting.
I think this comp looks like a top 1 with his health, and then he can
I was
even
gonna say so
transition into
too.
he can transition into like just like a pure legendary comp too, with how much health and time he has.
I just wonder if his front line is going to be strong enough, because yeah, he's going to be theoretically doing a lot of damage, but if his team runs into something with a little bit stronger front line and then more damage coming from the back line that's not getting hit, because remember, the hunters target the lowest health champion, so I wonder if something like a mage comp or like a Veigar comp could take this in the late game. Certainly not right now, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
I think with the Diana in, you just put in another, is it an assassin, to get onto the carries, and then the hunters will focus those
that's a good
carries
point.
in the
Yeah,
back. Yeah,
that's really true.
So yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I wonder which one he would use, which assassin he would use.
I think Talon. I was actually going to ask the same thing, but I was thinking of it, and I think perhaps Talon, probably being the best standalone assassin to throw in that case.
Probably. Yeah, he's going to do the best against single targets in the late game, I think.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone go 5 hunters before, though, so I don't know. Holy cow, that is a lot of damage, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ophelia
How
does
does he
so
do
much
it?
damage to the back.
Well, JUANZI likes chasing these high synergies, you know, like the high P synergies rather. Last game with that 6 assassin, and now this game with the 5 hunters. Got pretty fortunate in finding that hunter buffed Aphelios though, but is kind of just like rolling with the punches here and making it look super super strong. At a 9 win streak right now.
I feel like JUANZI.
The Lissandra. He has the Lissandra with Dazzler, and it's such a good. Well, I'm just a big fan of Dazzler synergy. So he can also get in Dazzler once he gets to 9.
Yeah.
And just slow down the damage from the other players.
Warwick 2 is huge. That is scary now. Extra scary. I'm starting to think JUANZI has like a whole staff of people just grinding the PvE and giving him info here, because he seems to know all the secret strats here. Because this is crazy.
Yeah.
So how
super
far is he
good.
from Aphelios 3? Does he just have 5 total right
4 away, yeah.
now? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find him at this point in the game, too. 35%.
SHOEMAKER taking a
actually, it's not too
big
bad.
hit there.
Yeah. Wow, 80 HP and a win streak. And they did change a little bit the percentages of the percentage chance you have to find units at different levels. And so now you can kind of chill at level 7 and look for the level 2s yet. Or was it 35% in set 4? I'm like, everything is blending together now because my mind is so focused on 4 now that I'm forgetting 3 already.
Yeah, blends in. I think you're right though, but not 100% there.
Well, I feel like 3 was 30%, 35 for 2 and 3. Why am I forgetting now?
I'm actually just not sure.
I know. Now this is like tilting me.
Oh well.
Do you guys like the positioning? I think he has everything backlined so that in case he can't get onto the super safe carries, they're forced to come out a bit. I really like how he has everything backed up.
Well, Becca, it's like you talked about. If he gets an assassin, that's going to be even better for jumping the back line here. And I wonder who he's going to use that on. I kind of like it on Warwick, although that does weaken your front line even more. So I don't know.
I was gonna say that too, and
It's
it
so
looks like
tempting.
he's thinking about it. Warwick getting to the back line is gonna do a bunch, especially after that first kill. And think about it, he has that AoE fear as well. So if he gets a kill in the back line, can fear everything else as Aphelios
Oh,
is
this is
doing
perfect.
damage. And yes,
Yep.
he's
This-
doing it. Frozen Heart on top of it as well. This is so good.
Yeah, Frozen Heart keeps the Warwick a little bit safer, theoretically ensures that he gets his ability off. I like that he's not putting him in the middle or anything like that, because he doesn't want him to be the focus of everybody. But this is a disgusting comp from JUANZI right now.
This is insane. I want to recreate this so badly. Assassin
Not
Warwick
easy.
sounds awesome. And he owned it.
Yep.
The thing about set 4 though, it's so hard to recreate moments like this because you need to specifically find that Hunter Aphelios and get the spatula for the assassin. So while it looks like
Yeah.
really strong right now, and I want to recreate it too, Becca, like I'm right there with you. It's just thinking about like it's so hard to actually be able to pull off in that way.
Well, set 4 seems like it's all about your own journey, you know? It's what is the experience that you have in each of your games? Because it's always different each game in a game of TFT, but it feels like it's going to be even more different this time around.
Yeah, 100% agreed there.
Yeah.
So the Lux is in for Dazzler and Enlightened. Are there any other Enlightened units here? I think she's an Enlightened unit.
She's Divine Dazzler, I believe.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gives
right.
the
Oh,
buff.
yeah, that buffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, to Warwick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, this is such a sick comp.
It really
so-
is.
Not only does Warwick have his ability, which is really good, but also when he drops below 50% HP, he gets 25% damage reduction and does true damage. So, yeah. And it looks like he doesn't even need to do anything. Everyone else just carry him for him. Wow, ALPHAGO takes a big hit. JUANZI just like casually coming in here and maybe 3 firsts in a row. With 3 different comps too.
Yeah, and the sick thing is he did that in set 3, and now he might do it again in set 4. Like, what can't
Yeah.
JUANZI do? 2 more Aphelioses until we'll see that tier 4. So I'm definitely here for it.
Oh, if he does get that Aphelios and does get it to set 4, then there's no doubt in my mind that he's going first. There's another one.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, that's a Vi. I'm still getting used to the portraits. Sorry,
No,
they've
I
got the
feel
same
you.
haircut.
The funniest one earlier was I thought someone had a bunch of Nidalees, but I was wondering why it was slightly discolored, and I realized it was Xin you just don't you don't think you're gonna mistake Xin for Nidalee, but they look really similar if you guys get the chance to see it.
This is what happens
They
in
both
the
have the
early
long
days
hair
of
and
a
the
set, you
spear.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where it's like I
Oh.
kept getting Syndra and Lux mixed up at the beginning of set 3, and now it's like laughable to think of that happening, but it just takes time, you know.
That's so
Yeah.
true, because I used to get
Oh, here we
Jarvan and
go.
Lord mixed up every time.
He still won. Yeah, me too, actually. He still won.
13 win streak here for JUANZI. Even the tier
Yeah.
3 Vayne from Slooper is just no match against the tier 3 Aphelios.
If he hits the Aphelios 4, it's lights out. There's no way he's
Yeah.
using this. I did see was that an 8 mage? No. He was scouting, and I swear I saw that. Or like a
Maybe.
9 mage, I think it is what you
Yeah,
need.
let's take a look. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do need 9. Goes 3, 6, 9.
Yeah.
9 mage is so much spell power. If someone's able to accomplish that and they have a Vygar on, the Vygar might just like one-shot everything.
Yeah, isn't it like 180% or something? I'm trying to remember.
That's a good question.
Is, let me look it up. I think I have what I believe to be up-to-date stats. Yeah, it's according to what I've got, it's 180%, which is a lot of spell power. Maybe that can beat the hunters. Oh, there's a Silas. So
Yeah,
not an
one
Aphelios.
more.
There
There
he
we
is.
go.
He found it. Pops the frozen heart off, which is even better. I would maybe put that on the Diana or something, or maybe a Lysandra.
Probably Diana,
Just
I would
to-
say.
Yeah, he's already got
Yeah.
one frozen heart jumping to the back line, so maybe you put
Yeah,
on Lysandra
true,
to be
true,
slightly
true.
tankier.
There's a
But,
couple options there. Yeah. You can make
either
the
way.
Lissandra tankier and slow the front line down, or have both sides of the back line getting slowed, because Warwick is jumping to one side, Dinah jumping to the other.
It's nothing but good either way. And there's that Aphelios 4. We're seeing it. A 4-star here in the showcase.
Yeah, so talking about his
man.
positioning,
Disgusting.
he moved his Lissandra up one row, which makes sense because now he kind of wants to protect his assassins instead
Right.
of having them get focused too early.
There's no way he's losing this.
Yeah,
I
this
can't.
is-
I can't imagine anything beating this.
I asked for a hunter game and I got the ultimate hunter game.
Seriously, yeah, you really got what you were looking for there. We're gonna swap over and see what BOBAE is up to, and he has. Okay, so I mistook the icon. He has 6 sharpshooter. I mistook that for like a mage icon because it kind of looks like a spell, right? It kind of looks like a magic missile, but no, it is sharpshooters
see
instead. And 6 sharpshooter is pretty strong. 3 ricochets, only 30% damage reduction if memory serves.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, let's see. Hunters versus sharpshooters. Who's gonna take it?
Well, sharpshooters take a while to do their damage. That's the problem here. Is that it takes time to ricochet through. The blind from Teemo though, but Teemo's already dead. I was gonna say maybe if the blind got into the back line and started, stopping Aphelios from doing damage, but if you don't have that happening, I think that's the only shot you've got to beat that comp.
Top 4 right now. ALPHAGO
Yeah.
getting eliminated in 5th.
Yep.
I think SLOOPER, I know we've been talking about JUANZI a lot, but SLOOPER, I believe it was in 2nd place going into game number 3. He's found himself in the top 4 again, was praising SLOOPER for managing to find his way into the top 4 for the Galaxies Championship yesterday, but SLOOPER is still performing very well today in the Fates Showcase, so super impressed with
Yeah.
him still.
Yeah, he's
Definitely.
definitely an underdog, and he's really proven himself throughout this tournament.
Oh, certainly.
So BOBAE scouting to see what other items people are getting here. What do you get? Got the locket. All right.
Yeah.
So a nice one to add in at the end of this comp is going to be a Zillion, because you're going to get, in a lot of cases, you'll find Mystic, not this game where he's going 6 sharpshooter, but you do get Cultist, and you do get the Zillion ability, which is really good. So if I were him and I wanted to put something in, I'd be looking for a Zillion above all else right now. There it is.
Oh, he found it. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
did he pass it over?
rolling glass
Oh,
up
okay.
there.
Well, I mean,
Just
it works
seems
really
to
well,
be
trust
rolling
me.
for. It seems to be rolling for upgrades. I think chasing that
guess
tier
so.
3 Sejuani is
Yeah.
3 away still though, so might not be able to find it in time. Locket going to Sejuani just for a bit of extra tanky front line.
Mm-hmm. So he's going to have a little bit more time to do the damage now, and yeah, now you can see the sharpshooter spells going off and all of that ricochet
Yeah.
ability doing work.
oh my.
Oh,
wait, JUANZI
hey.
lost.
Yeah,
Slooper.
Slooper beat him. 4 Dusk, 4 sharpshooter. Is that what we're looking at?
Talking about
Huh.
the SLOOPER underdog story, I want to check out his perspective here in a second,
Yeah.
because man, he's really making a name for himself still in taking out the, like, what was it, 14 win streak probably at that point of JUANZI.
Mm-hmm. It was big. What does he got though?
Let's see.
4 Dusk, 4. Okay, so this was the This was
Yeah,
the Dusk
Wow.
vein that we were looking at earlier. That is strong
It
with 4
won?
Dusk. Cool.
That
I
is
would not have
surprising.
thought. Yeah, I would not have thought this comp would have won there. Yeah, Becca, you were gonna say?
Oh, I just think it's so surprising that he has the 4 Dusk with 4 sharpshooters. Does the Dusk help Jin at all?
Oh, I see what it is. Okay, so the Jin, he'll get that 20% buff, but it's really more about the Teemo and the Vayne here. It looks like he's going to lose this round because 6 sharpshooters is just going to be doing more damage overall. But I believe the Zeeks that he had probably helped Teemo cast faster and got that blind into the back lines a little bit quicker. And so when you combine that with the extra 60% damage that Vayne gets from the 4 Dusk trait, I would imagine it's probably those 2 things that helped him win that round.
Yeah. You also gotta be careful with your
Just a
SLOOPER
guess.
here because, yeah, while there isn't any Blitzcranks in this set, there is Aatrox, and Vayne could be pulled by an Aatrox. I'm not sure if either of BOBAE or JUANZI has one. Yeah, BOBAE does have an Aatrox, so we'll
Right.
have to be watching out for that.
Yeah, you definitely want to not have your Vayne get pulled into the enemy team.
Okay,
Oh, here
goes
we
up
go.
against JUANZI though.
Yeah.
the run back.
Up against the Ghost here. Let's see how this works. I'm watching for how Teemo casts. Oh, Teemo turned onto the Warwick, actually. He did get the blind in the back line, though.
Yeah,
Wow.
but still, I mean, the
that
kind
was
of
a
the lack of
decisive
front line
win.
that we were talking about. Yeah, the lack of front line just seems to melt, and then the Aphelios is just all of a sudden alone very quickly and gets taken out. So
Yeah.
that matchup's interesting.
Oh, it's the
Neat.
rock paper scissors.
Yeah. Oh man, if you're Slooper, you're gonna be praying to fight JUANZI next round and not BOBAE.
Yeah.
Man, this is
Well, it's
intense.
crazy either way because, theoretically, JUANZI could get a 2-kill with the next round because both BOBAE and SLOOPER are under 5 HP at this point. But we know SLOOPER can win it, theoretically.
And if you're JUANZI, you're hoping BOBAE can take out SLOOPER for you.
Yeah. Can you fit the Zillion in? That's the question.
Not
I
looking
guess
like
looking at BOBAE
it.
now. Yeah.
BOBAE 2 Sejuani's away.
Ha. That'd be big. I don't know if that's going to
Would.
save him, but it'd be strong.
Would have to hold on and then probably somehow hit double Sejuani the next roll, which is unlikely but possible. Have seen crazier things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Jin being placed in the middle there.
Yep. Don't want him to get grabbed by the Aatrox or anything like that. Here's the Dusk Sharpshooters build here.
Oh,
That Aatrox, yeah, pulled in the vein. Yep. That won him the round
Exactly what I was talking about, and that exactly. Slooper gonna
Yep.
be falling in third. I wonder if Slooper could have won if the vein was not in the corner there.
Yeah.
It's possible,
I think he just
definitely.
forgot.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a new set. There's so many new, traits and new abilities all these units do. You're not gonna look at Aatrox and like, oh, he's gonna affect, my board like Blitzcrank. It's probably just a little bit of an oversight there. So can't really blame Slooper too much for that.
In
yeah,
this
I was
top three
talking.
lobby, I think.
Oh.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I think the Adept would have been so good, right? Putting
Oh,
an
yeah.
Adept against Sharpshooters, Hunters,
Definitely.
the Vayne.
Yeah, I was talking
this is
earlier
one
with
of
some
them.
friends of mine and being like, oh, I'm so glad I don't need to worry about Blitzcrank positioning anymore. And then you get to the late game, you're like, oh no, Aatrox.
Yeah. At least
Yeah.
not early game. It was kind of always annoying when Blitzcrank was meta and everyone was playing him early game, so you have to constantly be scouting from stage 2. But now you have a little
Right.
bit of a time of reprieve to where you can, wait
True.
for that until people get forecasts.
Are we going to see a famous
Okay.
JUANZI walk-off here?
Not yet.
Oh, all right.
I didn't get
Can
to
he take
see
him
what
down?
did it, but something
Yeah.
one-shot that Aphelios, or did it a lot of damage at once. And I
Jhin?
didn't get to see what it was. Was it Jhin?
Could have been Jin.
Maybe.
Jin
Yeah, I'm not sure
certainly
myself.
can do that. So Bramble Vest for JUANZI, and I can't quite make out what it is
It's the
for...
Vanguard spot for BOBAE there.
Oh.
Oh, neat. So you get 4 Vanguard out of that.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to go to level 9 because he's been rolling for the Sejuani 3. Could take out one of the Vanguards that he already has and maintain on 4. I'm not sure what unit that he would put in at that point though. But either way, has like 20 or so gold to roll down to find one more Sejuani. And with that tier 3, he already won the last round versus JUANZI, but that might like solidify it if the matchup goes, even remotely how it did last time.
Yeah, for sure. I would say maybe you'd want to consider tossing the Vanguard item on like a Jhin just to give him extra armor. Try to help him survive a little bit more. Where is it? Come on. Not like this.
No.
No, I would not take that Thresh out. That's Dusk. You don't want to take that out.
Oh, wait, he does. 2 Sejuanis. I mean, that's a lot of CC. Dusk isn't like
But-
the most amazing thing here, so I could see the argument for it.
Okay, all right. I guess so.
Okay, the Sejuani is all over that Aphelios.
Okay,
but
but
they-
it's not enough.
Oh,
Sejuani just doesn't have a survivability ult though. That's the thing. So you
Yeah.
need that extra damage. So I'm a little bit surprised about the Dusk removal, but either way, props to JUANZI. 3 games in a row. He is he basically crushed it. He got 3 wins in a row. What more can you say?
I can't believe he just swept it. He swept the last day.
That's right. In the clown fiesta of the PBE, everyone's testing and experimenting thing, he has the biggest red nose of them all today. Congratulations, JUANZI. He did a good job, though, of finding these comps that did a lot more damage than I was expecting. So good read on what we know so far about the set. Very cool to see.
Definitely coming into today, be willing to pursue those high-end synergies that you wouldn't usually expect. It's like, okay, maybe you go a 9-piece synergy, but he went those ones that are kind of in the middle with that 6 assassin and that 5 hunter that I haven't seen run at all between set 4. But he did it, and he did it very, very, very well.
Yeah. So there you have it. Our Teamfight Tactics Fates Showcase Champion. It's going to be JUANZI. And it was a lot of fun today. Like we were talking about, the competition, not as quite as a high level, of course, as the Galaxies Championships that we concluded this weekend. But even with a little bit on the line, it's fun to see these players kind of mess around with the synergies, try things out, and JUANZI managing to get the wins today. He's getting sweaty in that lobby.
Yeah. I really enjoyed watching them play. It definitely wasn't the same level of play that we saw from them, like you said, from the set 3 games. But I'm really impressed. I'm super impressed by JUANZI for pulling out 3 wins. And in what I assume he just hasn't prepared that much. He's just amazing.
Said, I think he's got like a secret staff of people getting the info for him. He knew he was going to need it today. He's like, all right, let me see the report, and he read it this morning and got ready. Either way, impressive play from him. But let's see what Giovanni has to say about that. How about that last game?
Yeah, so wanted to point out a couple of clips that I found pretty interesting early on here. I actually ended up following BOBAE and JUANZI the entire game, basically. Noticed both their comps were pretty powerful, hit early spikes in power, and were able to carry them throughout the game. In this early clip here on 3-3, we have a really early Sharpshooter 4 running 2 Nidalees, 2 2-star Nidalees, in fact. And it's not a comp that we had seen run a whole lot this showcase at all. But it was clearly very powerful, very well-rounded, and this power spike enabled him to sort of carry himself at high health until the mid-game before having to bump up to eventual 6 Sharpshooters. I think the round after this as well, he ended up getting Jin, which was another really powerful spike and a great character to itemize. Here is, I just wanted to point out, even early on in the game, we had 5 hunters coming out from JUANZI. We had this 3 Moonlight, triple 3 stars already running on the board. Super powerful, as most of you guys saw. It carried him until really late in the game with this super long win streak. I think it was like 12 or 13, maybe even more wins. Very powerful. Really, really nice play there. And of course, eventually, we have this even further power spike. Later on in the game, he's fishing here for Aphelios 3. He's one off, finds it, which then allows Aphelios, as the most itemized unit in the Moonlight comp, to be powered up to 4-star. And 4 stars are new to TFT here in Fates. It is only if all of your Moonlights are already 3-star, and it is a pretty meaningful power spike both in health, in damage, in their ability. In this case, Aphelios' turrets last like 15 seconds instead of 9, and so it's pretty powerful here, and you can see that he just kind of starts running away with the game here as soon as that 4-star Aphelios comes into play. Just kind of mows down an entire team, and especially with that 5 hunter piece already in play, just every couple of seconds, boom, 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 one-shotting units, super powerful. And then here, finally, just wanted to call out the final game we had. Both of these players, top comps. I think that maybe the move to pull the Thresh out might have been a bigger detriment than expected. But if, of course, he had hit the Sejuani 3, would have played out very differently. Still amazing play from both players, with eventually the Hunter Moonlight comp winning this game.
Yeah, Giovanni, thank you so much for breaking down all those plays from that last game, because I think everyone in the chat was going, wait a second, how? How do you manage to pull off 3 wins in a row in a completely new set that almost none of our 8 participants have played yet because they've been focusing on the Galaxies Championship? So that's absolutely insane to me. But Giovanni, for you, you've broken down almost every single play, every single move throughout the TFT Fate Showcase today. So I just want to ask you, what was the most exciting or your favorite moment from today?
In general, we haven't seen a lot of love on PBE for hunters, and so it's super awesome to see them take away a game and do it so convincingly as well. But at the end of the day, what I appreciated most is that all of our top comps were like different across the board. We had hunters win, we had Elderwood like really high at the top, sharpshooters, and so I hope that style of play, that sort of like versatility of what comps are powerful and good and players want to sort of chase, we get to keep as we develop Fates even further with patches down the line.
Fingers crossed we get to see our players be a little bit more creative and innovative as we move on. But let's go ahead and pull up our final standings so we could see how each of our 8 players stacked up today. And honestly, it's no surprise. Today's Fates Showcase winner is, of course, JUANZI. A perfect tournament today. Absolutely perfect. First place wins across all 3 games. 24 points for him. SLOOPER, buddy, you were so close behind him at 17, and I do not know what happened with SHOEMAKER. 3 8th places in a row. This is how the prizing breaks down today. JUANZI going home with that $3,000, and prizing in addition to their Galaxies Championship prizing as well. So everyone is going home with a nice chunk of change. So congratulations to all of our participants across the Galaxies Championship, as well as JUANZI for taking the Fates Showcase first play title. Round of applause to him. Pogs in the chat for him. Congratulations. Giovanni, the question that I would have for you today is, I was trying to get a little bit out of you when we first started this morning. I'm like, what's the hints? What's the secrets? What's going to be super OP and broken? Was there anything that you were looking forward to seeing that the players didn't happen to pick up today?
I honestly think that the top comps, top 3, were reliably playing the game in an adaptable way, right? They were seeing what Chosens were given to them. They were seeing what the shop was providing to them and trying to build a composition around that. There was very little forcing of comps, it seemed. Players who were getting top 4 and kind of really leaning on Elderwood were getting top 4, but those top 2 were consistently just like, well, what do I got? What do I need? What can I possibly win with? And I think that's really valuable for a set and sort of the skill mastery. So happy to see that. It was exactly what I was expecting and hoping for. So good on the players, all of them, for doing such a great job.
Good on the players. Giovanni, good on you. I want to thank you for blessing us with your incredible insight. And once again, thank you for bringing us an amazing new set with the TFT Fates set. That's it for us here. I do want to bring back in our casters as we recap the day.
Hey, we're back. Let's recap this. Guess what? Aphelios is pretty strong. If you can get him to 4 stars, that's right, you heard me, 4 stars, and a bunch of hunter friends to come along with him. That was a really, really strong comp, and I think it's really interesting because one of the big questions is, Moonlight is strong, but how do you transition from a Moonlight early game into a strong late game comp? And there you go. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Warlord was in the top 3 synergies today, because I can't remember seeing it too often, but I guess people just like sprinkled it in here and there.
I think you probably see it. At least 1 or 2 people are going to be using it in the early game, almost every game it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many interesting things that we saw across the board. Again, today is basically like a celebration of the new set coming out. We've got dragons, we've got pandas, we've got cultists, oh my, like so many new things hitting the board. So I just want to get basically like final observations or the most educational moment for you guys during this stream. For me personally, I was expecting to see a lot more set. Didn't happen though. So I'm hoping that, in the future players are able to really find a good way to kind of work him in. But Doa, for you, any final observations?
Yeah, I'm just really excited about Fates. I think the Chosen mechanic is really fascinating, and I might not be known as an analyst in other games, but I do like to kind of stretch that muscle in my brain sometimes, and TFT has been a really fun way to do that. And I think Fates is going to be the most complex, but the most rewarding set yet, where like you're going to be playing it, and you're going to do something around a Chosen, and you're going to feel really smart doing it. So I'm looking forward to a lot of that.
And Crowan, as a competitive player yourself, what are you looking forward to the most with this new set?
Yeah, I kind of want to elaborate on Doa's point there with Becca's point earlier of wanting to recreate some of the things that we see with the chosen mechanic. I think that what's going to be standing out of players, breaching that gap from good to great player is utilizing those very specific things that you get out of that specific chosen unit. And it's going to create a lot of super exciting moments that, we'll see, in 6 months again when we have a showcase, or not a showcase, but the championship for Fate Set 4. I'm personally really excited for that. I want to be competing there, but, if not, I'm cool with casting too, but no, super cool stuff.
Crone, I'll be totally unbiased, but secretly be cheering for you from the sidelines, like, let's go! But then also I selfishly want to have you casting with us again, so, it's kind of on both sides. But Becca, what about for you? Are we going to see you at the Fates Championship?
I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna try. I think I really want to put more effort into this set because although we didn't see it today, like the players did tend to go for the higher end synergies, like this, the 6, the 9. I'm hopeful for this set that it won't just be that it will be a bunch of smaller synergies, and then you do go for the big bang plays when you do get like a really good chosen or that specific unit you need. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to how this set and the meta hashes out.
Well, casters, I want to thank you all, Doa, Crow, and Becca, for doing such a phenomenal job, not just today, but for this entire week of Galaxies Championship Fates. We've got everything under the sun with TFT, and there is still so much more to do. So for everyone who's watching at home, you guys can also explore the Fates in Teamfight Tactics with the next set. It launches next week with the patch 10.19, so go ahead and show your support and excitement for the set by using that hashtag TFT Fates on social media. I had an amazing time with all of you guys. Congratulations again to our 8 players. Thank you all 16 players for participating, and again our casters, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.